Hi, it's Maria from Still Dreaming Homestead. It's time for story time. We're continuing to read in the book Days with Frog and Toad, and it is by Arnold Lobel. So far it's been really good. Let's see what this story is. Chapter 3 is called Shivers. What do you think that means? It can mean you're cold. Let's see what they mean in this story. The night was cold and dark. Listen to the wind howling in the trees, said Frog. What a fine time for a ghost story. Toad moved deeper into his chair. Toad, asked Frog, don't you like to be scared? Don't you like to feel shivery? I'm not too sure, said Toad. Frog made a fresh pot of tea. He sat down and began a story. When I was small, said Frog, my mother and father and I went out on a picnic. On the way home, we lost our way. My mother was worried. We must get home, she said. We do not want to meet the old dark frog. Who is that? I asked. A terrible ghost, said Father. Now I do want you to know there's no such thing as ghosts, so you never really have to be afraid, but sometimes a scary story can seem fun. He comes out at night and eats little frog children for supper. Toad sipped his tea. Frog, he asked, are you making this up? Maybe yes, and maybe no, said Frog. My mother and father went to search for a path, said Frog. They told me to wait until they came back. I sat under a tree and waited. The woods became dark. I was afraid. Then I saw two huge eyes. It was old, dark frog. He was standing near me. There he is down there. Frog, asked Toad, did this really happen? Maybe it did, and maybe it didn't, said Frog. Frog went on with the story. The dark frog pulled a rope out of his pocket. I'm not hungry now, said Dark Frog. I have eaten too many tasty frog children. But after I jump rope 100 times, I will be hungry again, and then I will eat you. That page didn't want to turn. The dark frog tied one end of the rope to a tree. Turn for me, he shouted. I turned the rope for Dark Frog. He jumped 20 times. I'm beginning to get hungry, said Dark Frog. He jumped 50 times. I'm getting hungrier, said Dark Frog. He jumped 90 times. I am very hungry now, said Dark Frog. What happened then? Asked Toad. I had to save my life, said Frog. I ran around and around the tree with the rope. I tied up the old dark frog. He roared and he screamed. I ran away fast. See how he's tied up there? See better there. I found my mother and father, said Frog. We came safely home. Frog asked Toad, was that a true story? Maybe it was, and maybe it wasn't, said Frog. Frog and Toad sat close by the fire. They were scared. The teacups shook in their hands. They were having the shivers. It was a good, warm feeling. Do you like to be scared? I have to admit that once in a while when I was little, I liked to be scared. Do you think that was a true story or a made-up one? Yeah, me too. I think it was a made-up one. Well, it's Maria from Still Dreaming Homestead. My grandchildren call me Grammy. I want to pray blessings on you and yours in your house, out of your house, in the day and the night. Whatever you do, keep dreaming. Good night. God bless you. I love you.